Ladies and gentlemen, episode 33 of season 2 of the Daily Intermission podcast. We are in studio. I am joined, as always, by Nathan Brown. How are we doing?
I will tell you, I've had better days.
Okay.
I have had better days. I was talking to Greg a couple days ago. I was like, you know what? I've never got the spins before in my life. I'm immune. I got them last night. Dude, I slept on the bathroom floor. Dead.
That's a tough scene. Yeah, so we had a couple pints. It was a huge week for the Daily Intermission podcast. You know, we talked about it last episode, Nate. 2 huge guests with Brandon Scoopy Robinson, and today with Russell Dorsey, yes. MLB insider, and then on television twice. So, you know, we had some pints, some celebratory pints. We had some friends out, and Nate came down with the spins.
I got it bad, dude. I can't believe how bad that is. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, and like you said, you mentioned earlier in the week that you had never had them.
I know. It's almost like just karma, eh?
Gosh, but Nate, I did want to mention that this episode's pregame is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered for tools for the family jewels.
Okay.
Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. With over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, this exclusive offer is for you. Use code TDI at manscaped.com for 20% off your order and
free shipping. Forget about that free shipping.
So that's
folks.
8 million pairs of testes that they're taking care of worldwide.
It's a lot of it's a lot of nuts.
That's a ton of nuts they're taking care of. So guys, if you need a grooming kit, if you need to update your men's grooming, use the code TDI at Manscaped. Nate, moving out of the ad read, I did want to talk about Matea Roach, fellow Nova Scotian, tearing up Jeopardy. 14 wins.
It's an impressive run. What has she gotten, like 18 questions wrong in like those 14 shows?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
She's now in the top 10.
How do you know all that stuff?
Well, this is what we're going to get into. So she's now in the top 10 of all-time wins of any Jeopardy winner.
No shot she catches Ken Jennings, though. You wouldn't think.
Well, he's the host now.
I know.
That was such a clinic. When was that?
Must have been like 2007, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that, I think.
Yeah. Remember that tear? Like it was years, wasn't it?
I don't think years, but I think he went like 45 episodes.
Yeah, okay.
It's borderline treason.
Yeah, it was. But it's nice to see a fellow Nova Scotian tearing up on Jeopardy. But that's one show, Nate, that if I went on, I would make such a complete fool of myself.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I would forget to say what is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a shot.
I don't think I'd ring the buzzer, man. I'll watch.
I just sit there and freeze.
I'll watch a Jeopardy show, and if there's any sort of sports category, then I'll be humming.
Yeah.
If not, I'm. Like, how do people know? It's like, in the 1800s, this author wrote. It's they're like, who is Johnson? It's like, are you?
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's crazy.
I just don't understand how everyone knows everything on that show.
It's absolutely.
It's so impressive.
It's incredible, man, those Jeopardy contestants. But shout out to Matea Roach, fellow Nova Scotian.
I was just going to say, how do you study? Like, do you just go look up random facts?
Yeah, it's just like they spend hours at the library reading every book in the place, I think.
I mean, that's the only way really around it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, congrats to her. That's good. That's great stuff. Nova
Absolutely. Nate, moving along in the pregame show, we've got Mike Tyson kind of in the media. So he was on an airplane, and a fan of his was sitting behind him, and I'm not sure what the altercation was. Apologies about that, folks. But moving along, Mike Tyson, I'm not sure what that altercation was, Nate, on the airplane.
Well, the guy was just like kind of like picking at him.
Yeah, okay.
He was just behind him, just
giving it to him.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure at one point he's like, Tyson or something. You know, he was just like antagonizing him. And it was just like, dude, like, you want to get knocked out for the video.
Yeah,
is all I can figure is what his game plan was.
So he ends up getting the wheels beat off of him.
Oh my God, dude.
Which is just like, like there's few guys on the planet Earth that you want to like get into altercations with, I should say, and Mike Tyson's at the top of that list. Like you avoid all altercations with professional boxers, especially Mike Tyson.
It's just foolish. Like that is like he's right up there with Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this is a guy you have zero shot of beating.
Yeah,
Like, the only thing I can figure is this guy wanted to get beat up just for the viral video.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
I guess he's got an extensive criminal record as well.
Oh, the guy did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what, though. But he certainly made his rounds. But Nate, we're going to move into the first half and halftime show, and it's going to be Russell Dorsey from Bally Sports, MLB Insider. So enjoy the interview. We are thrilled to be joined by National Major League Baseball Insider for Bally Sports, Russell Dorsey. Russell, what's going on today, my man?
Guys, I am chilling. I am very excited to be on with you guys for the first time. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. We're just in studio, chilling.
Just did a little live on the line hit with the live on the line crew. So that was electric. A lot of energy in that room, Russell. Gosh.
Like it's so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
No, it was fantastic. So let's get right into it. I mean, we're excited. I know the lockout, was going on for a few months. We were a little worried about baseball, but it's back. It's alive and well. We're a few weeks in. A couple weeks back, Dave Roberts, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, decides to pull Clayton Kershaw. I know Nate and I weren't overly happy about it during his perfect game bid. What are your thoughts, Russell? What do you think this analytical move in the MLB, is it good for baseball?
I mean, I think there was a couple things there, right? You look at where they were, where Kershaw was in like his ramp up, and you got to think about it. Because of the CBA and because of the lockout, you had a lot of guys, a lot of these pitchers aren't where they normally are at this point in the season, right? So most guys would probably be in their 5th week of spring training with their bodies right now. And so, yes, for me, I was watching just like you guys. It's like, no, he's giving too many hugs. You know it's going to happen. You know they're going to pull him out of the game.
Yeah.
80 pitches, you're like, give your guy a shot, right? Give your guy a shot. Have somebody ready. If he gives up a hit, fine. Like, it's the crowning achievement of a Hall of Fame career because he's throwing a no-hitter, right? If it was just a regular no-hitter, fine. But a perfect game, it would have been the last, like, memorable moment we've had for Clayton Kershaw. So it sucked, but I definitely understood what Dave Roberts was thinking there.
For sure. A lot of factors too. I mean, the short spring training, stuff like that. So anyway, nothing we can do about it. I'm interested in your thoughts on the umpires. So there's a lot of accounts going on. You got one on Twitter where they just kind of rinse the umpires. It shows a lot of balls that get called strikes. What are your thoughts on the umps this year? And do you think they're going to bring in automation at some point? And what's your thoughts on that?
You talk to guys around the game and it's like, some guys are like, well, I want to get calls right. At the same time, there is a human element that makes baseball beautiful. I get that part too. But you do want, the right call as much as possible. And you look at how replay has affected not just baseball, but sports in general. It's like, if the call's right, the call's right. And you got to do whatever you can to make sure that, things are being done correctly. When it comes to automated umpire, I've never been on board with it. I just think I don't think it fixes everything, right? Like, I think, especially with things like breaking balls, sliders, curveballs, where if there's one at the top of the zone, is that going to be called a strike just because it's over the plate? Like, I think it would take a lot of finagling, if you will. You'd have to really know how to adjust it and get it right. And if perfection is what you're going for, cool. At the same time, I think there are a lot of things that we aren't thinking about that might go into that aren't right necessarily. I know they've tried it in some of the lower minor leagues, and I think if it was something that would have worked, I think we'd have more push for it. Or if it was something that people really thought was a viable option, there might be a more push for it. I think right now it's the loud minority on Twitter, which we know
for sure
is always letting people know how they feel. But I don't know. Maybe in 10 years we look back and it's like, oh wow, automated umpires are here, and like I didn't think there would be a time when that'd be here.
What do you think about a little hybrid system, Russell? Like something like tennis, where they've got a certain amount of judge calls where they can bring in the replay.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 5 challenge, 10 challenges per team, and a manager can ask for the replay and you can see where it hit the zone. Something along those lines.
I think maybe an in-ear device, right, where you have the game being called, like maybe there's a camera or another umpire in, similar to what the NFL has, where there's somebody up top saying, hey, this is a strike, hey, this is a ball, where you don't put all the pressure to get the call right on the home plate umpire, who, let's be honest, is sitting from behind the catcher, right? So it's really, you're kind of guessing at that point.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are really good at it, where most of the time you don't even think about it. But, for others, having that additional help, somebody in the booth that sees, the vantage point that we have watching the game, which are like, no, this was clearly a strike or clearly a ball.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Russell, it was a long off season, but one of the major headlines I think during the off season, one of the most polarizing anyway, was Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens being left out of Cooperstown. So listen, what do you think about that? Do you think Barry and Roger Clemens deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Do they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Did they deserve to go in during the 10 years that they have on the ballot? I would say no. And the reason I say no is, look, I was a kid when Barry Bonds was doing his thing. He was one of my favorite players growing up, right? He was a lot of everybody's favorite players, people in the media, people who were just fans, players in the game. And I think when you look at the response of people, when he hasn't gone in, like this is last year on the ballot, last year for Roger Clemens on the ballot, I think there are a lot of people like, hey, that was the best baseball player I ever saw before or after steroids, right? I do think what gets lost in this conversation and this discussion about guys who use performance-enhancing drugs going into the Hall of Fame is that is against the rules, right? Yeah, the guy was the best baseball player we had ever seen, but he broke the rules. And when you break the rules, there's a consequence for that. And to me, part of that consequence is you're the best baseball player we ever saw for a long time. You're in the pantheon of great players all time to ever play the game. And you don't get to go in on the first ballot like you should have. You don't get to go in with others. You don't get to go in with, these people, your peers, some of whom you were better than. You don't get to go in with those guys. So I think that's part of the punishment. Do I think a veteran committee votes both of those guys in eventually? Yes. And we can put that part of the discussion to bed. But for me personally, I think part of the punishment of using is you don't get to go in when you were supposed to go in.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a great assessment.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to swing things up north. Obviously, we're a couple Canadians. So, we listen to the media all the time, and it seems like it's just Blue Jays. They're undoubtedly winning the World Series. So I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are on the Blue Jays. Do you think they can get it done this year?
All right, so I'm very high on the Blue Jays, guys. So
all right, we like that.
You guys got it out of me. I picked them. I was one of those people that you talk about in the media. I picked them to go to the World Series, play the Atlanta Braves. I just look at that lineup up and down. Bo Bichette, George Springer, Vladdy, the straw that stirs the drink. Then you have Lourdes Gurriel, like Teoscar Hernandez, like up and down the lineup. There's dude after dude after dude after dude. And you think about it, it's like, how can they lose? Like, how can they lose? In the AL East that's been a juggernaut for so long, to me, it's like that they are the class of the division. Like the Yankees didn't make a moves to really, be that much better than them. They still have Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, and they brought Anthony Rizzo back. But you look at them as a whole, I would still say that the Blue Jays are a better team. Now, the team that they'd have to watch for is the Rays. Like they're always there at the end, and the Red Sox with bringing in Trevor Story to go with Bogarts and Rafael Devers, who I think is one of the best hitters in the game. Like, it's going to be a fun race in the AL East. But I think when it's all said and done, the Blue Jays, who were this close from going to the playoffs last year and made a serious run at it on the last day of the season, I think this is the year they get back to the playoffs and really show people what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited about them. That's for sure, Russell. I mean, but you know what? We're so hyper-focused in Canada on the AL East, and, for good reason. But, outside of the AL East and, in the NL, are there some teams that you think, maybe outside of the Braves and the Dodgers and the teams that get, a lot of headlines, who are some teams that we should be watching? Who are some teams that may be able to make some noise come postseason time?
Well, one in the American League that reminds me of the Blue Jays is the Seattle Mariners, right? I think you look at the Mariners, just like the Blue Jays last year, they won 90 games and they missed the postseason.
Right.
They added to their roster and they're that much better. So you look at them, you're like, oh man, like these guys got pitched. They added Robbie Ray, who pitched for the Blue Jays last year, won the Cy Young. He's now their ace, their workhorse. They added Jesse Winker from the Reds, one of the best hitters, left-handed hitters in the big leagues the last couple of years. And you put in a lineup that has a good mix of young guys and veteran depth. Adam Frazier, who's a hit machine coming over from the Padres and the Pirates last year. Like, this is a lineup that's solid. they have a foundation. They have a good mix of veterans and young players. And they also have a really strong rotation led by Robbie Ray and Logan Gilbert, who's pitched really well to start the season. So that's a team that I'm also really high on. In the National League, the Mets shouldn't be an underdog. They're the team that spent the most money. Their owner has a rule about him in the new CBA, right? The Steve Cohen rule, because they, unlike a lot of teams around the game, they went out and said, look, we're going to spend money. Steve Cohen said, look, I got it, so I'm going to spend it. I think there should be more ownership groups around baseball. And they made a lot of additions. Like, you look what they added. Eduardo Escobar. They added Starling Marte. They added Mark Hanna. Like, and then a couple weeks before the season started, you go out and get Chris Bassett from the A's to really solidify your rotation. Oh, yeah, and then you go grab Max Scherzer to go along with Jacob deGrom. And even though deGrom's hurt, like, having Scherzer be that top of the rotation guy who's probably the 1A best pitcher in baseball behind deGrom, when deGrom comes back, you're going to have a rotation of Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer. Then you're going to have Chris Bassett, who's pitched really well, Carlos Carrasco, who's pitched really well, and Tyler McGill, who was a young guy that came on strong for them last year. Like, that's a rotation that a lot of teams around Major League Baseball they'd want 3 of those guys, let alone 5. So they have depth, they have experience, and they have 2 guys at the top of the rotation that are the best pitchers in the game.
Absolutely. No, we get a kick out of following the Mets. I mean, their owner on Twitter, he's a must follow as well.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, just furthermore, beyond the teams that we should be following, Russell, who are some guys? I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to explain how, overtaken our media presence is with the Blue Jays and how hyper-focused we are on the Jays. And obviously, we're hoping that Vladdy, wins the home run race. But some other big hitters, who are some guys that you think are going to be running with Vladdy all season for the most home runs in the league?
Man, I want. Can we have a Vladdy appreciation real quick though?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm with my guys, my Canadian brothers. I just want to. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is 23 years old. Yeah, he's already a top 3 hitter in Major League Baseball and also a top 3 power hitter in baseball. And I think that's what makes him so great. Is like, yeah, he could be a big, a power hitter, hit 45 homers and hit 260. But it's not. This is a guy that will consistently hit 300, hit 40 bombs, and drive in well over 110 in that lineup. And you think about the protection that he has compared to other guys. Most people could say, well, that's why he's not an MVP because, he has Bo Bichette around him and he has George Springer. But no, I think there's a lot of guys that have some protection that don't produce as well as Vladdy did last year. Like, look, in a world where there's no Shohei Ohtani, and why would you want to live in a world with no Shohei Ohtani? Like, Vladdy is the unanimous MVP, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you look at what he did last year. He's continuing to do that this year. And if he stays healthy, that's going to be your American League MVP. But I think another guy that is in that same vein for me is Juan Soto, right? A guy who plate discipline-wise probably has the best eye in the big leagues, really understands the strike zone, has major power, Barry Bonds-esque in the way that pitchers treat him because they don't want to throw him, pitches in the strike zone. He might see 1 or 2 pitches a game in the strike zone. Other than that, he walks. And like these young guys, he's also 23 years old. These young guys that really have a knowledge of the strike zone, who are really elite hitters, and then have the ability to hit 40 home runs. It's not normal. And I think we've become desensitized to these kids like Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, Vladdy Jr., where it's like, hey, enjoy what you're watching here because we are watching, the makings of some all-time greats. I think I look at that. That's how I look at Mike Trout. Like, it's unfortunate that Mike hasn't been able to stay healthy the last couple of years because, when my dad talks to me about, watching Willie Mays, watching Hank Aaron, that's how I look at Mike Trout. Like, I'm going to be able to tell my kids in a couple of years, hey, this was the best player I ever saw, right? I just did an interview with Albert Pujols a couple of days ago, and I'm sitting there talking to him, but I'm thinking, like, man, this is one of the best hitters to ever play baseball. Yeah. And for me as a baseball fan, that's really freaking cool. Like,
special.
Sometimes we get in the media, and it's like, oh, man, well, this is my job. But it's like, nah, man, like, I used to imitate Albert Pujols at the plate as a kid, and here I am interviewing him. Like, it's crazy. So now there are a lot of these young kids around the game, man. Like, they're very talented, and we're really lucky to hopefully, if they stay healthy, be able to watch them for a long time.
That was a special moment too. A couple days back, seeing him back in St. Louis hitting a bomb. Gosh, you guys must have relived that moment. That's awesome for Albert. It's exciting. That DH role now in the NL. I think that's exciting for guys that can really hit the baseball, still prolong their careers, give them an opportunity to ride out some more hits. But you think it's time?
I think it's time.
All right, Russell, we got a quick game for you. We're all about the games over here at the Daily Intermission. So we are going to test your knowledge, all right? And we're playing who holds the record. So we're going to go through some records throughout the MLB. I think you're going to probably put on a bit of a clinic here.
I think, we have a hard time with it, but I think you're going to be all right.
All right, you want to start things off?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, me start off?
Okay, I'll start things off.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Russell, who's got the most steals in MLB history?
Oh, Ricky Henderson.
That's light work. That's light work.
This could be a walk. This could be a walk. Longest hit streak in MLB history.
Another light one.
Oh, that is Joe DiMaggio.
Boom.
He's 2 for 2.
So this is just a quick fact. So we were on the road in Ottawa, Russell. We were asking that. That was the final question of our 5 questions for $5, and nobody knew that Joe DiMaggio.
What?
It's crazy, hey? We're like, come on. Anyway.
Can I throw in a bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The most goals for a rookie ever.
Tinu Solani.
The national.
Yeah, 76.
There you go.
Yeah.
Canada, baby.
We're born with skates on, Russell.
I was gonna say. I wanted to guess it to show my hockey knowledge.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Also, Timu Solani, the coolest name ever. Living in Chicago, we have the Blackhawks, right? So my dad grew up a hockey fan too, and he was like, "No, we're not just gonna be a fan of 3 sports. We're gonna be a fan of all 4 major sports."
I love it.
And Timu Solani was playing for the Ducks, and I'm like, I don't know who this dude is, but
I like him.
His name is amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then come to find out, this guy scored. He has the record for the most goals scored as a rookie in the National Hockey League. It's really cool.
It's
one of the
absurd.
greatest goal scorers of all time.
Oh,
Timu Solani.
You know it. So maybe we'll have you on for a little hockey segment, a little hockey playoff, Rusty. I mean, we didn't know you were. We didn't know you were this versatile. I mean, we're not. All right, listen.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
You know, most strikeouts in MLB history, Russell.
Most strikeouts in MLB history all time. Is it Nolan Ryan?
3 for 3, folks. 3 for 3, folks.
All right, we'll see if we can get him here. Highest batting average in MLB history.
Ooh, that's man, all time. Highest batting average in MLB history. This might be the one that gets me, guys.
I think you're manifesting it. I think you might have it here.
I think you might be able to get this. You think legend?
Let me think. Legend of the game. I will ask for one hint.
Oh, what's a good hint that won't give it away? Think corn.
Oh, Ty Cobb.
I guess that one kind of
He's 4 for 4. He's 4 for 4, folks. Think corn. I was thinking that too, but I was like, that's a giveaway.
I couldn't think of
damn good hint.
I couldn't give him the initials.
All right, if you get these 2, Russ, then we're sending you personally to Cooperstown. All right. What is the name of the individual that was hit by the most pitches in MLB history?
Oh shit.
I mean, it's almost impossible, but he's been hit 287 times.
Some say he was asking for it.
He was at the plate wearing hockey gear by the end of his career.
Jeez. Who got hit more than anybody in MLB history? Is it another legend?
I'm going to be quite frank.
I'm going to say I've simply never heard of him.
These last 2 are we thought you'd be on a heater, Russell, so we threw in some ones that are just
maybe
you guys are right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. You guys stumped me.
Should we give him initials? See if he's got it.
Huey Jennings. I'm not sure if that's a well-known player.
I wouldn't have gotten it.
No, exactly.
No.
Okay.
Also, I swore on here and I didn't mean to. I apologize.
I think we're all good with that.
Yeah,
we're
explicit. We throw some stuff out sometimes. You're good to go, Russ.
I dropped
all right?
the same thing in one of our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry about it.
We're all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not know that one. You guys got me.
Okay. Last one. What age was the youngest MLB player to ever play a game?
I'd like to say 16.
Ooh, 15.
Joe Nuxhole?
Joe Nuxhole. Yeah, I think in 1944.
I knew the name, but I thought it was 16.
That's pretty good stuff, though. Russell, I'm impressed, man.
That's the best. It's undoubtedly the best showing we've had on here.
100%. Yeah.
Not even close.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Next time, hockey
Bang.
trivia.
Well, next time you're coming on and we're talking hockey.
We're gonna talk Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, now that we know that you're multifaceted, we might be asking for weekly hits here, Russ.
Okay, we can work something out.
Yeah. We may not have the big bucks yet, but we'll work out a deal.
No, we can figure something out.
Yeah, that's right.
Something out.
Listen, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Go watch Miggy hit that 3,000th, and we'll catch up soon, man. We appreciate you taking some time, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Talk soon.
Thanks, Russell.
Thanks.
Well, we thank Russell for coming on. Absolute legend. He'll be coming back on. I think we might have him on for some NHL
I was gonna
talk.
say we get him on for a little hockey chatter.
Yeah, he was fired
Love to hear
up. Wanted some NHL trivia mixed in.
Yeah,
So
little
we know
Timo
for next
Solani
time.
action?
Yeah, big Timu Solani guy. So we know for next time to bring some little hockey flavor to Russell Dorsey's interview. But Nate, we're moving into quarter 3, and the NBA playoffs are alive and well. And there has been some surprising games, some really tight games. But I did want to start off with the Celtics because last episode or 2 episodes ago, we both predicted the Nets would win that series. The Celtics are now up 3-0, and as we know, a team has never come back from a 3-0 deficit in the NBA. Jason Tatum's been incredible. Jaylen Brown's been incredible. Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. Surprising, Nate.
It is. And I mean, I believe we both took Nets in 7, right?
I think we did.
So I think there's, we'll see what happens here, but no, there's no shot.
Because guess who they get back on Monday? Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he's back for game 4, right?
Yeah. So we'll see what he adds to the lineup. I mean, I don't know what the minutes restriction is going to be, but what do you think about Steve Nash? Do you think if the Nets get swept, it's like Steve Nash is going to be gone?
He's going to be on the hot seat for sure. I mean, the team's absolutely juiced. If you're going to get swept first round, like, you've got to change something, whether it's a player, a coach, general manager, something. Like, you can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons. Why? Because Ben Simmons hasn't played, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, the team's pretty juiced.
Oh, for sure. And do you know what is, fairly, refreshing, I should say, is the Celtics are a homegrown team, man. You've got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are 2 draft picks who they received from the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
And you've got Marcus Smart, who's a draft pick, Al Horford, who's played for the Celtics for a long time. He ended up leaving, but coming back at the deadline. But I mean, it's refreshing to see because you see all these teams kind of go video game mode on the league, and then it's refreshing to see a team who's done it in the right manner, drafted well, and is right there in the mix. So the Celtics, I mean, they're a force, man. They play so sound defensively, and you've got Jason Tatum, who, I mean, they put 39 last night.
Yeah.
And, just playing incredible basketball. So it's nice to see the Celtics. We'll see if they can come back and win in 7, Nate. But
I just highly doubt it.
yeah, but the Celtics are looking good.
You know who might come back in 7, though? That's the Toronto Raptors.
That is fantastic segue, Nate. And the Toronto Raptors, yeah, they won a game at home. So they're down 3-1. They're heading to Philly on Monday. I'm not sure if they can get it done, Nate. It might end in Philly.
I think so, too. I think it's done in 5. I've heard a lot of chatter about it should be 2-2. I've heard a lot of Raptors fans say it should be 2-2. And I just don't think it should be.
I mean, that's just the kind of the general narrative of sports, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's not.
It's always
3-1.
like that,
yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's funny, the narratives. I mean, you can think it should be this way or it should be that way, but just kind of the fact of the matter is it's not.
It's simply 3-1, and they're going to lose it in Philly.
It probably will. We'll see what I know. Embiid's dealing with a thumb injury, and I mean that overtime shot. We'll have to talk about that in Game 3. I mean, in overtime,
0.9 on the clock.
0.9 on the clock.
Disgusting.
Joel Embiid gets the inbound and hits a fadeaway 3-pointer. The guy's 7 feet tall. I mean, who would know?
You can't block it.
No,
You can't block it.
He's almost unguardable, really. The Raptors certainly don't have a man that's that big and can keep up with. I mean, you'd think Rudy Gobert might be able to go toe to toe with him. I mean, that guy's an absolute specimen as well.
He's huge.
But no, man, it's been fun to watch the NBA and the Wolves in Memphis. Minnesota won a tight game last night by 1. They've tied the series 2-2.
Yeah,
I mean,
2-2.
Memphis, who looked incredibly strong all season long, the 2 seed. I mean, Minnesota's putting up after winning a play-in. They're looking to make a series of this and maybe win.
I'm assuming this would be the first play-in team to move on.
I would, 100%.
I would think.
Yeah.
I would think, if they do.
Yeah, which would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm a huge
It actually
fan.
gives
reason
to having these play-ins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which,
I really like Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh my God.
Like if there's one human being on the planet that dealt with COVID in just the most horrific manner, it was Karl Anthony Towns.
For sure. What was it? His mother passed away, right?
Yeah, and I think his grandmother as well.
Jeez, man,
Yeah,
that's
both from COVID. And I mean, you've got Anthony Edwards, the electric first overall pick from a few years back, who's just he's just electric. So yeah, I do like, and I also like the Memphis Grizzlies as well. So that'll be interesting. I know Scoopy mentioned that he loves the coach from Memphis and he really likes how that team's built. So it might be, we'll see what happens in that series. A couple teams, Nate, that we kind of predicted sweeps on, the Hawks and the Pelicans, they've both grabbed a game, and they're in 2-1 series right now.
Yeah.
The Suns are going to be without Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We'll
This
see.
could be interesting.
Absolutely. Can you imagine if Zion gets back in the mix? You got Valanciunas buzzing on all cylinders. I mean,
You get Zion back. I mean, there's an outside shot here.
absolutely
Without
man.
Devin Booker playing?
I mean, Brandon Ingram, he can score with the best of them. CJ McCollum, he's a serviceable guard. I mean, I don't think his defense is that great, but I mean, you got some pieces in New Orleans to make this a series, especially without Devin Booker, the primetime
100%.
player.
Hopefully Zion just plays. Like, he hasn't played this year, correct?
No.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if he played a little bit at the start, but
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun to watch those series tonight, and obviously the Heat against Atlanta. I think that series is going to be 4-1. I don't think the Heat are going to have any troubles, but they grabbed a game which we didn't see coming.
no, we did not. I mean, we kind of threw sweeps all over the place, didn't we?
Oh, so we certainly
Couple
did.
of fives.
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, I'll have to loop back and watch the prediction show, but no, it's been good fun, and Nate, just finally, Golden State's going to be the one team that has the opportunity to sweep, and that's tonight.
Yep.
I should say yesterday for the listeners against Denver. So
I'm assuming by the time you're listening to this, it'll be over.
yes, absolutely,
that's my guess.
And Draymond Green's been incredible defensively. Man, they're going to be scary, man. You know, with the Splash Brothers and Andrew Wiggins, and they're a fun team. Jordan Poole, man, has been just incredible as well. That guy has come on the scene and just been a great player as well. So yeah, we'll see what the Golden State Warriors can do. I think they're going to end up sweeping Denver, which I predicted to go to 7 because I thought Nikola Jokic was going to be a bigger factor. But I'm just looking like a clown for saying that.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, man, if Phoenix, like say, as we were talking about the Pelicans, if they get hot, beats Phoenix, I mean, Golden State's kind of got a free run here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Nate, that'll conclude quarter 3, episode 33 of season 2 of the Daily Intermission podcast. We're going to move into quarter 4.
Yeah.
It is the NHL.
Yes.
And it's sad news to start off, Nate. Guy Lafleur, the Flower, passes away. An absolute legend of the game. I mean, you look at Montreal Canadiens history. He's certainly at the forefront of that. And he passes away at age 70. 1,353 career points in the NHL. Sad news for Montreal Canadiens fans and just the league in general.
Absolute legend, no doubt about it.
Yep.
It's a shame, man. It feels like every episode we're coming on here saying some hockey legend has passed away.
Absolutely.
So rest in peace to Guy Lafleur and Mike Bossy. Still thinking of him too.
Absolutely.
You know, that's still fresh. And geez, man, it's a shame.
Oh gosh, it is, man. And it just seems like they're not that old either. I mean, 70 and 65.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Those guys, they still have a little runway, and obviously it's super sad. And we're thinking about the Lafleur family and everyone in his close circle. But Nate, Roman Josi becomes the first defenseman to the 90-point mark since 1993-1994.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to get to that 100-point mark, but
I wouldn't think.
No, I don't think
it's
he's
going to
going
be a
to.
hell of a run if he does. What's he got? 4 games left? 3 games left?
So he'd have to be lighting the lamp.
Yeah.
But certainly, the MVP of the Nashville Predators this season, get some heart votes. I'm sure won't
no
win it.
doubt.
But he'll end up winning the Norris Trophy, and what an incredible season for Roman Josi, man.
Yeah, unbelievable. I got to figure he's probably going to win the Norris now.
100%.
90 points.
It's just almost a lock. We talked about, I guess it would have been about a month ago, how it's normally clear cut for me. You hit the 90-point mark for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, I feel like it's him.
30 years, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy, eh? 94
years.
is 30
Yeah.
years. Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Nate, we were looking at Ray Bourque, and we saw that
Yes.
Patrice Bergeron's now 4th all time in Bruins scoring, and we want to talk about defensemen who put on an absolute clinic. Well, Ray Bourque, he's the leader in the Bruins all time of points with 1,500.
1,500 points as a D-man. And it was crazy because we were like, all right, what's his career high for a season?
Yeah.
Thinking it would be like 150 or something. He was just steady Eddie, man. 96, 94, cracking numbers.
Just putting on an absolute clinic.
I would have never guessed that he was that prolific of a scorer.
No.
I didn't realize.
No, well, that was right when we were born, right in
For
his
sure.
heyday, so.
But he was a ledge when we were like kids.
Oh,
You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
Like lifting the cup and stuff. But I didn't know he was that sick.
No, he was a prolific scorer as a defenseman. Seems like from all accounts is an absolute legend too off the ice. He's a fun guy to catch up with and have him pint with.
Yeah.
Nate, the Florida Panthers have won a franchise best 13 straight, knocking off the Toronto Maple Leafs last night.
Ain't nobody talking about it.
No, there's not.
Just winning 13 in a row. They've also clinched the conference.
What do you think about a team on an absolute heater going into the playoffs? I would not. I don't love it.
You don't love it?
I don't love a team on an absolute streak heading into the playoffs.
Okay. How come?
I just think that there's bad omens. Like if you lose a game, then it's like, oh, like you haven't felt that, experience in a long time. And there's just something about it. Like, I don't foresee, like I would hope to lose a game kind of in the next few, just to kind of get that over with, have that regroup stage.
Sure. It's definitely better to come in hot than it is to come in like losing 13 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't think you're going to make the playoffs if you're losing 13 in a row.
Most likely not.
Yeah, but there's something about being on an absolute tear and then kind of flipping the page into the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know why I think it's a bad omen. I'm just not that high on Florida, and they might shove it in my face. I just don't know if this team is going to go on in the Stanley Cup run, but we'll see, man. That could be one of the colder takes in hockey talk these days.
I'm kind of on board with you though. They're giving me real, like, lot of goals, not a lot of defense going on. Yep. They're giving me 2010 Washington vibes.
Yeah, you look at their back end as well.
Yep.
You're without Aaron
Mackenzie Weegar, the number one.
Yeah, Mackenzie Weegar's their number one guy, and it's certainly. I just look at the playoff experience too across the board. We'll see. The game changes, man, and I want to see how their game transfers over into the postseason. But Nate, moving out west into California, Trevor Zegras becomes the highest scorer in rookie history for the Anaheim Ducks.
Yep.
And we got Ryan Getzlaf kind of on an emotional run. They played the Kings last night. Very nice gesture. Pretty much. Getzlaf stayed at center ice after the game. The entire Kings lineup shook his hand. It's going to be an emotional one, man. Ryan Getzlaf is an absolute legend. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my mind, and it's going to be sad to see, man. It's as we're getting older, we're going to start to see guys that we grew up watching and are huge fans of, and especially on the national stage, Ryan Getzlaf was such a staple.
Yeah.
It's going to be sad to watch his final few games.
I was very surprised to find out that he was retiring when he announced it. I didn't think he was I thought he had a few more years in him, but
for sure. It's just kind of maybe the stage of where the Anaheim Ducks are at. They're kind of full on rebuild, and he's getting older. He was just he talk about a power forward. The guy's just gigantic. He could put the puck in the net, and we're gonna miss Ryan Getzlaf for sure.
No doubt.
Nate, let's talk about some of the biggest surprises. Some guys in the regular season that may not have gotten enough love, and we looked at the list the other night, and there's some guys. I'm gonna start things off. Elias Lindholm for the Calgary Flames, 40 goals, and this guy gets zero love behind Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau.
Crazy.
You never hear about him.
He's had a hell of a year, man. He is so good. Another guy is Jesper Bratt. 70 points.
Insane.
Like that.
Insane.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kevin Fiala,
82, 83 points. Like, these guys, they get zero media attention or having just tremendous seasons. There's a few other on that list as well, Nate, and they're not coming to mind. But yeah, Kevin Fiala, 83
kind of
points.
some of the notable ones.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some serious notable ones. And there was another defenseman, Noah Dobson has almost 50 points. PEI, a fellow Maritimer. There's been some serious surprises for sure in the NHL regular season. It's been a great regular season, but Friday Nate's going to be a huge episode. We're talking serious hockey. We're talking serious playoff, and
we'll be doing some predictions.
Absolutely. And just to kind of conclude quarter four, Nate, I did want to mention that Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay are on an absolute heater. They're 29 under through 3 days at the Zurich Championship.
Outrageous,
29 under.
That back nine you showed me last night?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah.
What, they birdied everything except for one hole they parred?
Yeah.
Stupid.
So it's best ball. So essentially it's just the two of them and you take the best score. And they went 8 under on 9 holes to finish off their third round yesterday. So it sounds like, that they're going to win the Zurich Championship. And for good reason. These are two of the top players in the world and they have teamed up at the Zurich Championship. Nate, that'll conclude quarter 4 of episode 33 of the Daily Intermission podcast. Fire Wagon, dog water of the week. I'm going to be completely honest, man. The Fire Wagon's got to be those two at the Zurich Classic.
That's what I was going to go with.
Yeah, they shot 59 the first day.
Outrageous.
They're just absolutely lighting up.
It really makes you feel too with golf coming back.
Oh yeah.
Just thinking about how impossible that is.
Man,
I'm scraping out quads.
Yeah, 1 round in, no birdie, so still waiting on the first birdie of the year.
It's a nice thing to get early, but it's tough to do, eh?
I just missed some bad putts. 11. Anyway, we're not going to go through it.
So I'm on hole 13, right?
Yeah, should have had one on 6. Anyway, but dog water of the week, Nate. You can go many different directions here, but I'm going to go with Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Okay,
I think he's been a reoccurring dog water, and I know he's coming back, so that gives people hope. My thing is that you were the highlight piece out of trading James Harden, and you've waited till Game 4 of the playoffs to be down 3-0 to come back. Yep. Ben, come on, dude, be better. I'm excited to see how many minutes he gets from Steve Nash and to see how he plays.
He's gonna have to run them.
Oh yeah.
It's do or die. So
for sure.
Mine is my dog water of the week, Greg, is the spins.
Okay.
It's not really a thing.
Yep.
But actually, it's just myself.
Yep.
You know, I come in here hot. I say, you know what? I've never got the spins. I'll never get them.
Yep.
I got them, as we said early. And I'll tell you, I am the dog water of the week. It's me. Dog water.
Gives himself the dog water badge of the week.
Pathetic.
All right, well, listen, guys, go like and give us the 5 stars on the podcast. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate all of you guys for your support. We got another big week ahead. Daily Intermission's just getting started, so thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on Friday.
Rock and roll.